Hello, today's video is going to be on a few topics, and those include accountability and frustration and work and setbacks in life, all sorts of things. So I'm going to try and speak as freely as I can. It's going to be a very free-flowing video. I never have scripts for these. I just speak my mind as it is in the moment, whether it's good or not. Usually not great, but what is great? It's nothing is great. Well, there is greatness, but the concept of greatness itself is, something else. Okay, comparison time. What am I thinking about? So I got a lot on my mind, and I can't really speak it straight to the camera all the time, but I will try today. So I'm frustrated about my work. I guess a lack thereof. I don't feel like I'm really doing much at work. But that's part of the frustration. The real frustration is that I don't ask for more for more tasks. Right? Why don't I? I know that I want to take on more responsibility and that I'm capable of taking on more responsibility, but I don't ask for it. So then I feel bored, and I feel like I'm wasting the company's time. I feel like I'm just wasting time in general, you know, and that's it comes down to a genuine fear of asking for more work. How could that be? Yeah, to me, my rationale is that I'll be annoying whoever I'm texting, or they're gonna put me, or they're not gonna give me anything. They won't see me. They're gonna expose me as not really being worth much, essentially. Right? They won't give me anything, and if they won't give me anything, oh, that must mean that I'm not good enough, right? And I thought about that for a bit, and then I think about other parts of my life, asking questions that genuinely mean something to me. When do I actually do that? Only with those that I'm actually comfortable with. And even those that I'm comfortable with, I'm not always comfortable with, right? Sometimes I feel comfortable to ask whatever question is on my mind. Other times I'm not, even if I know the person. So it's a very big thing for me of feeling like in a lot of my life as though kind of fraudulent, right? As though a lot of my life is fraudulent. What do I mean by fraudulent? I mean that I'm not genuinely asking what's on my mind. I'm asking shit that I don't care about, that I'm basically tuned out of. Right? And I'm on the sidelines watching my life go by. That's a lot of people, to be fair. It's not just me, it's a lot of people. And to be fair to myself, there are things that I do that actually matter to me and that I consistently do and that I can self-manage. But when I'm managing myself and something that really matters to me, usually it's pretty good. For example, weightlifting, fitness, programming sometimes, stuff like that. Playing chess, I love to do that. Duolingo, I got tasks, but and to be honest, pretty good life, but it's not fulfilling. And I want to be careful with my words. I haven't really been careful with my words this whole time. I've just kind of been spewing them out. The thing that, yeah, okay, relationships. Can't really go on anything without talking about that. That's the area of my life that I consider to be my biggest failure so far. And it's something that I like to change, but I genuinely, deep down, don't believe I can. Which sucks. So haven't formally dated. I've gone on many dates with many girls over the past few years, and never unfortunately ended up well, or how I wanted. All ended up exactly where subconsciously I believed I deserved to be, but I couldn't change my identity in such a way that I believed that I deserved what I was getting. So I became distant every time. Or I became somebody else, somebody that I'm not. Blah, blah, blah. Accountability. Gotta be accountable to taking the actions to change that. Do I believe that I can change it? I just said I can't. I don't believe I can. And although that might be true now, although it might have been true a year ago, although it might have been true a lot of my life, doesn't mean it can't change. I don't have to be held back by my past. My past is a version of me which does not exist anymore. It's brought me to where I'm now, but past is the past. Here lies the present. There lies the future. What am I going to do with it? I'm 22 years old now, which I still find quite difficult to believe. I guess it's only been a month, but still. 22. That to me, 21 also was pretty big to me, but 22 and 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 goes by quick. From high school to now, it's gone by quick, right? And I can see a lot of events that have happened in between those times. A lot of events that have brought me to where I am now. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be stuck on the past there. Because that's a big thing that I do. I look at my past and I ruminate on it. I ruminate, and I think, especially when we talk about rumination, we usually talk about the very negative things, right? Negative parts of that period of time. And then the aggregate of that, the calculations that I do in my own mind, I use them to determine my own self-worth right now. And, even when things are going well in the recent past, I always like to think back and refer to a more distant path and use that to calculate where I'm going to end up. Alright? It's always these calculations running in the back of my mind, these probabilities of succeeding, and when the moment they're on a trajectory to be good, they always get skewed when I start to think, and not skewed in the direction that I like. And all this stuff, and then again comes back to how you view yourself as an individual, all these things. Yeah, wow, I just talked a lot. A lot of thoughts again. It's always nice to talk to a camera and just kind of lay some of it out. And then, obviously this is going to go on the channel. And, I can watch this back later on. I sound like I'm on a version of a breakdown right now. I'm going to write a bit, continue to think, not think or not think, to think or not to think. That is a question. Esa es la pregunta. ¿Es este o ese? Este o ese? I've been doing Duolingo for a bit. But 100 days now, Spanish. That's something I'm actually proud of. Is my Spanish good? No. I talked to anybody. Like I said, I went to Spain not too long ago, and although we went to Barcelona, so it's mostly Catalan, but I still got to use a bit of Spanish. Un café, por favor. Un café con azúcar. A coffee with sugar. Por favor, please. And you know what? I can speak French. Je parle français. Je parle français toute ma vie. If you don't understand that, I'm just saying that I've spoke French all my life. So, on the way to becoming trilingual. That's values, that's things that are cool about me. Do I value them though? Do I put that in the calculation in my mind, no, again, it tends to be heavily skewed against a favorable outcome, which is why, yeah, actually, let's go into that. Maybe a bit deeper. Why doesn't never seem to end up going well? Honesty and fear. It's always fear, and by fear I mean, oh, I don't deserve this. And just, that creates anxiety. I become tense. You can't be tense the whole way for a relationship. It doesn't work. That's what it's been. And with Jessica, for example, yeah, that I was not honest. And I still look at that and I think, wow, I fucked up, and I've kind of allowed the past year to really determine my future, which I will not do, which I can't continue to do. Unless I want to end up in the exact same spot like 50 years from now. The question is, what will change? What will change? Well, even a small change can make a big difference, right? Learn from this book. Small changes make big differences. So, maybe I can make myself an action plan. And although I don't like to admit it, I've done a lot of research on all sorts of things in the topic of fear, social anxiety, for example. That I'm always trying to check that nobody's watching me. I'm always checking it out, like, oh my god, no, is anybody listening in? This doesn't really matter. Well, it does matter to me. So I'm speaking low right now. It's because paranoia. That's a big one, actually. And I'm going off topic again. Paranoia. Specifically in other people listening to me, looking at me, anything that has to do. It's called the spotlight effect, for one. It's where you're in a situation, you think everybody's paying attention to you. Obviously, the reality is not that at all, ever. Unless, you're public speaking, and even then, not everyone's paying attention, but that's a big one that I'm gonna say has ruined my life. Ruined. It's made it significantly harder because I look around. Are they listening? I can't speak. Right, I can't speak because if I do, I'll be judged. If I'm judged, well, essentially a bunch of fucking mental stupid shit. Oh, I'm done so. That's basically how it goes. And they're looking at me. Well, I don't look good enough. Oh no, I'm not worth it. Right? It's a lot of my thought patterns. A lot of them. So essentially, the goal of my life, the way that I've been living it for a bit of time now, is to try and disappear. Literally. That's literally how I've been living. My number one goal is to disappear. But I'm also not suicidal in any kind of way, or, depressed or anything like that. Well, somewhat depressed, but, not to any serious level, which makes so I still acknowledge my basic needs, and I still go through life doing the things that I have to do to remain sane, but all the while keeping it at a minimum, such as to achieve the number one goal, which is to disappear. And I'm not talking about, prefrontal cortex goal. No, I'm talking about like fucking deeply traumatized individual goal. Trying to fucking go for life doing that. So yeah, wow, what a talk it's been. Wow.